Hi, I'm Eric with Simply Elegant Home Cooking. Today I'm going to share with you my recipe for mussels in a white wine and tomato broth. This is a very easy recipe, but it's very delicious. Stick around, I'll show you how it's done. This recipe calls for 2 pounds of mussels. I've thoroughly rinsed and scrubbed them. You want to make sure that you remove any sand or grit, and you also want to discard any mussels that have already opened before the cooking process begins. The first step for this recipe is to make the broth. I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating up in the pot, and to that I'm going to add about 2 small shallots that I've diced up, and about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. So we're going to let that come up to heat and just saute these for a couple minutes until they soften. So our shallots and garlic have been cooking away for about 3 minutes. This is about where you want to add the rest of the ingredients. You want to make sure not to brown these. You just want them to get a little bit soft and aromatic. So I'm going to go in with about 1 1/4 cups of dry white wine. I recommend using a wine that you'd actually be able to drink. We're going to add about the same amount of hand-crushed San Marzano tomatoes. Now I like to make this dish spicy, so I'm going to go in with some crushed red pepper, but this is certainly to taste. You can omit this if you don't want to have it real spicy. And then just add a little pepper and salt to season. So at this point I'm going to give everything a big stir. I'm going to turn the heat up to medium-high, and we're going to bring this up to a boil. And while we wait for this to come up to a boil, now is a great time to make our side dish to go along with this. And the perfect side dish to serve with these mussels is some crusty Italian bread. What I've done is I've cut it into thick slices, and then you just want to go on and brush some olive oil on. And then we're going to hit that with some salt, pepper, and I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. And once you've prepped all your bread with the olive oil, salt, and pepper, you just want to throw that under the broiler for about 2 or 3 minutes on each side, or until it's developed a nice golden color. And after just a couple minutes on each side, your bread should look just like this. You want to be sure not to burn it, but you want to get a little bit of char around the edges like this. So now our broth should be almost up to a boil. And after about 5 minutes, when your sauce is coming to a rapid boil, now we can add in the mussels. So what you want to do is you want to just add those in, give them a quick stir just to kind of even them out. And then you want to put the cover on and let that steam for about 4 to 5 minutes, or until the mussels have opened up. Once they open up, they're ready to go. You want to make sure not to overcook them. We're about 3.5 minutes in, so I'm going to give them a look. And they look like they've opened up. These actually look ready. So now at this point, what we can do, we can turn off the heat. And I'm going to go in there with some herbs. I'm going to go in with some fresh basil and parsley. And about a tablespoon of butter. That's just going to help give the sauce a nice sheen. And we're going to just stir this up, and this will be ready to serve. So here's how your dish will look once you've served it up. You want to make sure to include a good amount of that broth with the mussels. That's perfect for dipping the crusty Italian bread in. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. You saw how easy this was to make, but it's absolutely delicious. I'm Eric with Simply Elegant Home Cooking. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.